thanks to the support as a channel member, Rob Harley, who incidentally might have to have an extended run playing in goal. Jamal Blackman is injured. We'd recovered. We were back in the promotion race. And now he's out for a couple of months. We have no money to sign another goalkeeper. This is a problem. Hello and welcome to part 14 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have 2 games for you in the league. I was on the wrong screen. We're playing away against Leamington and at home against Curzon Ashton, both in the National League North. And since you were last with me, as you can see, our form has recovered. After the little bit of a wobble that we had because we were distracted by the FA Cup, as soon as we were out of all those pesky cups, we've gone on a nice little run, losing only 1 game to Spennymoor, winning most of them, including a 7-3 win and a 6-4 win. We are a ridiculous football team, but this is what the league table looks like. 29 games in, back up to 3rd place, 57 points on the board, comfortably in those playoffs, and starting to look tentatively up towards top of the table Chester, who admittedly are 7 points ahead of us with a game in hand. And it was all looking so well until Jamal Blackman got injured. What's he done? He's broken his finger. He's out for 4 to 7 weeks. And yeah, we have a bit of a problem. We've signed this guy on loan from Northampton. He is only 5'9". He's all we could get as a freebie. So James Dadge, the 5'9" goalkeeper from Northampton, is in. He has played 3 games in League One for Northampton this year, but playing for Northampton is not at all impressive. Interestingly, he's also played 11 cup games. Hang on. Why has he played 11? How have Northampton played 11 cup games? What on earth's gone on at Northampton? So EFL Cup, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So they got to the 4th round of the EFL Cup. FA Cup, obviously they've got the EFL Trophy, which they seem to have gone deep in. So he's been playing in all of these cup games. You know what? He's not the worst keeper to bring in, but at 5'9", I'm not filled with confidence. Rob Harley is obviously here, who could potentially be drafted in if need be, but he's only 16 and he's not up to playing 7 weeks worth of consecutive football matches. So we're going to start with Dadge, see how he gets on, and hope we beat Leamington and it'll all be fine. That's the plan. So this is the team for the game against Leamington. It is new boy, 5'9" Dadge in goal. A back four of Murray, Craig, Davies and Banks. Ewing at the base of the midfield. Devenny and Knight ahead of him. Bramall on the left. Beckham on the right. Hall up front. Should probably note as well, we've sold Joe Gibbard. He is our all-time record sale at £3,000. He's gone to Bala Town in Wales because he was one of a few players who was a little bit grumpy and did force his way. Had a little bit of support from other players, so we wanted to nip that in the bud, get him gone while we could. It does mean we're a midfielder short. I'm not worried about it. We probably had one too many before, but Connor Hall is back in the team and back scoring goals again, 12 goals from 15 starts in all competitions, and hopefully we get a lovely old goal from him today. But let's give Dadge his squad number and let's just all try and forget the fact that he's only 5'9" and hope that it might be okay. I don't think I've ever played such a short goalkeeper. So this is almost certainly going to be disastrous. But we are trying to get things going with a corner early on. I mean, we had a couple of bites of the cherry there, weren't able to apply the finish, but we do get another corner from the opposite side, and it's this time going to be Beckham to hit the in-swinger. He's gone for that near post where Davies was lurking, can't find him, but Beckham plays it in again. Banks tries to get onto the end of it, but can't make proper contact, and now Leamington with the chance for a counter-attack, which luckily doesn't amount to anything. I don't really know how we're still being shown as having had 0 shots, because I think we had shots as part of that corner. Yes, they were blocked. Is a shot only... Right, I might be about to learn something about football in general here. Does it only count as a shot if it, like, gets as far as the goalkeeper or the goal line or the post or whatever? If it's blocked by a defender on the way, is that not a shot anymore? If he blasts it towards goal from there, is it a shot? When is a shot? Because I think we've had shots. That's definitely a shot. Connor Hall scoring again. 13 for the season for him now. We've learned how to get goals out of him as part of this new system. It's a lovely cross from Beckham and an easy tap in for Hall. And this is what Hall has been doing since getting fit again, since getting back into the team. We're starting to get the Connor Hall that we had last year, and he is an excellent finisher. He showed it last year. He's showing it again this year. The boy can finish, and it puts us 1-0 up. Lovely. Right, now we've got a chance for a long throw. Unfortunately, no Tozer in the team today. So Hall himself is going to try and hurl it into the penalty area, finds Davies, it's back with Hall, back with Davies again, and now Banks shoots. Banks had opportunities. He's been getting involved in all of these set pieces and nearly scores from the long throw there with the shot that comes back. I think that comes back off the crossbar. As it stands right now, we are up to second in the league. Corner this time from Murray that the keeper comes for but doesn't really deal with, and it's now just being headed up in the air by players off of both teams. It ends up back with Banks again, who seems to be involved in absolutely everything today. And now Bramall back to Craig, and Craig plays it out to Murray. Murray comes inside, lays it off to Bramall. Bramall gets past his fullback, tries to play it across goal, and it's going to be yet another corner. We are all over Leamington at the start of this match. They have been struggling this year. They are not a very good team, and we are trying to demonstrate. I mean, you've seen some of the high-scoring matches we've had so far this season. Maybe we'll just score 6 goals, and it doesn't matter that our goalkeeper's 5'9". There's certainly no point sending him forward for corners, is there, at 5'9"? But it is Leamington trying to get a counter-attack going. They cannot. And we're having a look now to see what Chester are. Chester are winning. So that keeps them 7 points ahead of us with a game in hand and a better goal difference. So we need Chester to slip up. And as I'm saying it, Buxton have got an equaliser against Chester. So it drops down to a 5-point gap as it stands. Leamington have got a player lying down over here. Just ignore him and go and score a goal. If he was that injured, the referee would have stopped play. Exactly. We don't stop play for players who are just lying around. Beckham with the header, can't keep it down. And now their play can get some treatment. I think that's an entirely reasonable way to do it. So Leamington, who we're playing, are down in the relegation zone with Tamworth. That's 2 of my former starting teams, local rivals as well. And neither of them doing very well. I'm trying to see where Buxton are in the league, who Chester are playing. I think Buxton are up near us. I've seen Buxton around us at various points, I think. Can we look at the league table here? Buxton are down in 10th place. So not necessarily in a promotion push, but are holding Chester at the moment to a 1-1 draw. If they could beat Chester while we pick up a win here, I think surely we must play Chester again before the end of the season. I don't think we've played them twice. So we want to get ourselves back in a title race. We want automatic promotion, because if there's one thing I'm known for and Brackley are known for, it's our inability to get through the playoffs. I once famously went over 20 consecutive playoffs without getting a promotion. Brackley in real life, I think, have done it 3 years in a row, have failed in the playoffs. So yeah, none of us, no one involved is really up for the playoffs. So we need automatic promotion or 8th place. It's just not worth getting involved in the playoffs. We may as well just go on our holidays a little bit earlier in the summer. See if we can get an early deal. Right, Beckham. Relatively deep, lays it off to Banks and then takes it back from him again and goes past his man easily. Beckham tearing up the National League North. He's been here nearly a year now and he's done really well. Beats 2 men, finds the cross but can't find Hall. And it's cleared by Leamington once again. But Craig just picks it up comfortably. And Murray, who's basically spent the whole match just playing as a winger. He is just the extra man in the attack, involved in absolutely everything. It allows Bramall to play very narrow, which, as you can see, is doing there, and has won himself a penalty. I thought Bramall had done the foul, or Murray even had done the foul. But no, it is the penalty for us. It's Hall with the chance to score again, and he does. What a penalty. Just smashed it proper hard. I mean, it's gone straight at the goalkeeper, but in the circumstances, it doesn't matter because he's hit it so hard, there's no way the keeper's stopping it. That it's a jolly good penalty because the keeper gets both hands to it and still absolutely powerless to stop it ending up in the back of the net. Right, Knight, who's now dancing forward out of midfield, there's space opening up in front of him. Knight keeps going and has an effort that can only be pushed over the crossbar by the goalkeeper, and we've got yet another corner. We've been dangerous from these corners all day long. Can we score from one? Murray with the in-swinger, this time for the far post at Davies, but he can't get proper contact on it, and it ends up cleared all the way back to Knight. But Leamington leave nobody forward, so we keep bombarding them. It's still 1-1 between Buxton and Chester. Chorley have now gone ahead in their game, presumably, because they've gone back above us. Yeah, Chorley beating South Shields 1-0 twice. It was listed on there twice. Chester have gone ahead again against Buxton, so it's now become less of an opportunity for us to make up ground on those above us and more we must win because everyone above us is winning and we've just got to. And Connor Hall's got a hat-trick. I mean, I think that one's been disallowed. The linesman's got his flag up. But Hall is in very good form. which is just as well because we are on the verge of losing Evans. I've been mentioning all season long that Evans would be going back to Scotland in February because all the Scottish loans have to go back in February. When we were trying to find a goalkeeper for free, there were a couple in Scotland, but we can only have them for a couple of weeks because then they'd have to go back. Knight gets in and it's another save. I tell you what, if we're looking for a goalkeeper, this Leamington guy has made some saves today. Murray with another corner. This time floats over the outswinger and the keeper comes out and claims it comfortably. This guy's having a good game in goal for Leamington. Should we have a little look at him? Jack Stewart, 6'1", so he's almost full size. They signed him on a free transfer from St Albans. He's done a tour of clubs I've managed in the past. First network game, non-league to legend, non-league to legend. We might just give this guy... Oh, we can't scout him because he's outside of our scouting scope, which means we've got absolutely no scouting budget left because how can we not scout a guy who plays for Leamington? They're just down the road. Right, we are going to make a couple of changes though. We don't have anyone who can come on and play right back. Okay, then we won't change right back, but Morehouse can come on for Knight. We can bring Cabia on for Bramall. That will do for now. I like the fact that everybody's still nice and fit. We've done quite a good job over this little run of form that we've been on of rotating the team, resting players when they've needed resting. I think I mentioned earlier in the year, we've got 16, 17 really good first team quality players, and it's nice to be able to rotate them in and out. I mean, the Joe Knight, is it Jack Morehouse? The Knight and Morehouse situation is a perfect example of that. They're both very, very good. We use them interchangeably, which means neither of them has to play every match. Chorley now drawing against South Shields, which will allow us to leapfrog over them. And we're going to bring Tozer on just to see if we can get a long throw. I still want to really show you a long throw in a video. It just hasn't happened. I might have to dig one out that we've capitalized on earlier in the year. There's been a couple that have led to goals. Might have to dig one out and show you one, because they are long. They're very long. Right, Murray lays it off to Ewing. So Tozer's still not even on the pitch yet. Morehouse is, though, and he sprays it out onto the left for Cabia, who plays it into the middle where Hall should have been waiting but wasn't. But it falls to Beckham, and Beckham scores a 7th goal of the season for him. We finally have our third at the third time of asking. We've had a couple of goals disallowed today, but Beckham is there to apply the finish. It's Leamington 0, Brackley 3. And this is just good from Beckham, isn't it? He's quite good at football, that boy. I wonder if his dad was any good. But yeah, it should be. I mean, it should be 5. I'm hoping for a late Buxton goal. I'm glancing down at them. So Chorley are now losing against South Shields. That's them out of the equation now. Chorley are done. So we're going to win every game for the rest of the season. I've decided. We just need Chester to start dropping some points. When do we play Chester? Of course we do. Away from home on the last day. Oh, Football Manager, you little rascal. The important thing there was Dadge wasn't rubbish. To be fair, he wasn't really tested. Let's see if he gets tested against Curzon Ashton. Curzon Ashton are bottom of the league, so we're rotating a little bit again for this one. So Craig moves out to left back, Drummond and Davies in the middle, Little coming in at right back, Tozer going to come in and play at defensive midfield. We're going to try Morehouse and Knight together to see if that works. And Beckham's being rested, so Cabia comes in on the right-hand side. Should still be enough to deal with Curzon Ashton, you would think, because they are absolutely rock bottom of the league. We are the home team. We are the form team. We should thrash them. Chester are at home to Southport, who are also quite far down the league. I mean, they know Curzon Ashton. Curzon Ashton have 11 points so far this season. So if we don't win this comfortably, then I'm a silly goose for rotating. Not that I've rotated loads. We've just done a little bit. I mean, I guess the midfield is the area where we're being a little bit experimental with Morehouse and Knight trying to play them together. There's an argument against a team like this, especially with Tozer as a centre-back playing as the defensive midfielder. You could put them both on the Mazzala instruction and just play with 5 forwards. Just really, really go for it. But that's probably, although it might work against this lot, is something that you can't really test and assume is going to work against anybody else. So we need to see if we can get Knight playing as a playmaker alongside Morehouse, or the other way around. We'll try them both ways eventually, I imagine. Then we know that's something that we could maybe do a little bit longer term. Hall scored again. I love having Connor Hall back doing what Connor Hall does. It is an absolute delight. We've missed this in the first half of the season. Evans was good, and I still maintain Evans added something to the way the team played, but Hall is just so prolific. It doesn't matter that he's not stretching the defence as much. He's not creating as much space for those around him. We're not getting the same quantity of goals from the likes of Morehouse and Knight that we were getting when Evans was there creating space for them. But it doesn't matter because Hall's getting the goals. So as long as someone's scoring the goals, I guess it doesn't matter who's scoring the goals. That was Morehouse to Knight, and that's the 9th goal of the season for Knight. They can work together because one of them assisted the other, and it wasn't even the way round I was expecting it to be. I mean, Knight was supposed to be holding off, playing a little bit deeper as the playmaker, literally the deep-lying playmaker. He's right up there in the penalty area with Morehouse, which is what I would expect them to do if they were playing as double Mezzalas. But either way, we've done 2 goals. 2 shots, 2 goals. Now we've got a corner. It's Cabia to take, looking for the near post, and it was a very good corner. It whipped into that near post. And I think Tozer has been fouled there, and he has. And we've got an opportunity now to go 3-0 up early on in this game, which means we can probably then start resting the likes of Hall in the second half. If Hall can grab himself a first half hat-trick, then we can get him off at half-time. We've still got Evans here for a few more weeks. We may as well use him while we still can, because then we're not really going to have much of a backup to Hall for the rest of the season. But 3-0 up now. Chorley are winning. I didn't have time to see how Chester are doing. Morehouse shoots from range. It comes back off the post. Chester are winning against Southport as well. So the top of the table at the moment is unchanged. It looks like Chester played their game in hand between our 2 matches. So it is now a 10-point gap and a better goal difference between us and Chester. We are going to need them to absolutely collapse if we're going to have any chance of catching them. I think it's probably a long shot. Even with that game against them on the last day of the season, they're likely to have won the league 2 weeks before. So I think we probably have to accept the fact we're most likely looking at the playoffs this year and see if we can drag ourselves through them. First test for Dadge, and he doesn't come for the corner. As you would expect, at 5'9", he's not going to be coming for corners, but he then stays back on his line and doesn't make the save. It's gone between him and the guy on the line. It's pretty poor defending all round. He's on a 7.1 rating for the match, so he's clearly been doing some lovely stuff off camera, but what we've seen from him, less impressive. Is that Sean Brisley, who used to play for Peterborough United? How the mighty have fallen, although to be fair, he's probably 1,000 years old now. Morehouse toes it on to Cabia, who's got beyond his fullback. Cabia, I think, was fouled. He has. It's another penalty. It's the chance for Hall's hat-trick, and then we can take him off. Bang. I mean, we're literally just going to take him off straight away. There's no reason for him to still be on the pitch. He's been injured earlier in the year. We don't want to risk him any further. Hall can come off for Evans. He's got his hat trick. He gets his standing ovation, and now we can have 40 minutes of Evans. Sorry, and Evans, like I say, was really useful earlier in the year. It's only in the last couple of matches that Hall has passed Evans as our top scorer for the season. So it's nice to have 2 very good strikers. It would be really nice if we could keep Evans till the end of the season, or maybe bring him in permanently next season. It seems unlikely. Right, we're also going to bring on Coker. Coker will be the backup striker to Hall once Evans goes back. We brought him in the summer from Cray and not used him a lot, but when we have used him, 7 goal contributions in 9 appearances, means he's probably worth spending a little bit of time with, hence him coming on now. But we are just seeing this one out. We've got a Ben Tozer long throw. Finally, there you go. That's what I wanted to show you. I mean, yes, it's straight into the hands of the goalkeeper, but that's what he's got in him. And sometimes it causes absolute havoc. It didn't on that occasion, but did you see the length on that throw? If he was 2 years younger, he would be playing week in, week out. We'd fit him in anywhere just so that we had that in our repertoire. But I think he's 36 now. It's really difficult to justify playing him. But goodness me, that is a weapon when it is available to us. We just need him. We need him to teach someone else to do it. Right. Let's make our final change. And I think we'll take off. We can't really take off Cabia. We don't have anyone who can play on the left. We'll take off Mark Little. Mark Little's also 1,000 years old, so Banks can come on for him and just run down the last 10 minutes. It's one of Mark Little's final games, probably, because he's not ever going to be a regular starter for us again. He was one of our panic buys last year. He's already announced he's retiring at the end of the season. But he definitely came in and was part of saving me my job. So I'll forever be in his debt. If he wants to be part of the coaching staff here, he needs to convince the chairman to give me more coaching staff. We haven't got room for passengers unless he generates the room. But I do have a soft spot for him. Former Peterborough player, and saw him play for Penabont in real life as well a couple of years ago. So do quite like him. But he's done. He's old and he's done. Chester, I want to check in on again, but we're too busy watching Curzon Ashton take free kicks and just hit our players with them. They're just, I mean, they don't look like the worst team in the league. I would say they look better than Leamington looked. And they've won a penalty here. And it's another test for Dadge to see if he can save a penalty. I mean, look how little he is. I don't know that he could touch the crossbar if he jumped up. There's no way he's covering that entire goal. And it is 4-2. And the sooner we can get Blackman back, the better. How unbroken does a finger need to be before it's not a problem for a goalkeeper? It's still only 1-0 to Chester. If we could get a late Southport goal, it does just crack open the door a smidgen for us. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. We just need to keep relentlessly winning and hope that they have the traditional Football Manager wobbly spell. Everyone gets it from time to time. Why are Chester so often my rivals in these series? It's always Chester. Going back to the original home, it's always Chester. But once again, we need Chester to slip up. But that's it for today. Depending on how the title race works out, we might come back soon, or we might just go all the way to the end of the season from here. If it's clear there's going to be no catching Chester. If they've started dropping points around here, we'll come back then. If not, we'll go straight through to the end of the season and then get on with the playoffs. But if you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.